Now, folks, let's go over to our man, Mr. Bob Archer. Bob is the CEO of Great Panther Silver. Great Panther Silver, of course, we've had Bob on many times. Great Panther Silver trades under the symbol in New York and GPL. Bob Archer, welcome back to TFNN.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? Good to be back.
I'm doing great, man. Well, I'll tell you, the last couple of days have been what a ride, huh?
Wow, I tell you, it's been like a roller coaster.
It certainly has. I mean, the bottom line is that we know the metals market is a roller coaster, folks. When we take a look at where we've been, I mean, it's been a nice run. There's no doubt. Meaning, we've watched Great Panther. In November was $1.14. It runs up to $2.28, and we're dealing at 180. Tell us, I know you just come out with your numbers. You had a conference call. Tell us what's happening with Great Panther. I know when I'm looking at I have your PowerPoint up right now, and the bottom line, if you're watching Target TV, folks, you're going to see that, you're talking about 90% precious metals, unhedged, no royalties, no streams, 200% owned mining operations in Mexico, potential for production in Peru. Strong balance sheet, no debt, $56 million in cash, $66 million in working capital, and you're looking for organic growth. So tell us exactly what's going on now with Great Panther, Bob.
Well, as you just mentioned, Tom, one of our strengths right now is our balance sheet, and with $57 million in cash and no debt, and still even with the volatility, still with a very strong share price. So that gives us a lot of ammunition to be looking at further acquisitions. But having said that, I mean, we're just in the process of closing the deal on the Peruvian acquisition, and we're fully financed to bring that to production. We do estimate at this point in time that it will likely take about 18 months after we take possession, and maybe about $25 million. It's a high-level estimate at the moment, but nonetheless, we are fully financed to bring that forward. And, if that project, assuming it goes to full production, that could deliver about 3 million ounces of silver equivalent on an annual basis, which would be about a 75% increase over what we're doing now.
That is amazing.
So that in itself is a very, very significant step for us.
Yeah, you got to be psyched, I mean, because, normally, Bob, right? And folks, this is what the difference is, when you're talking the mining business, it's a business that has a pushing forward. It's not like the oil business. The oil business, if you can find oil, you get a well going up, and you can get that going up 2 or 3 months later. I mean, if you were starting from scratch on this, I mean, sometimes mining business is what takes 5, 7, 8 years just to get something out of the ground, right?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. It's a very long time frame. So for us, to be able to buy a mine like this and then get it up and running quickly, I mean, it's very much along the lines of what we've done already in Mexico.
Yes.
This is how we built Great Panther from day one, was to take on past-producing mines, rebuild them, refurbish them, get them back into production quickly, and then continue to grow the company out of cash flow as much as possible.
And this is a great story, because I know parts of the story, because I had been talking to you before, but we get a couple tigers that want to know simultaneously. People are texting in, Bob, and saying, please ask Mr. Archer to describe how that mine deal in Peru came to Great Panther. So.
I guess the simple question is, or a simple answer rather, is it's a mine that I had known about since 2009.
Okay.
From the first time that I went to Peru, and we had made it known even a few years ago that we were looking for an acquisition. So around this time in 2014, so almost exactly 3 years ago, the owners, Nearstar, approached us because I'd met one of the fellows in Switzerland on a marketing trip, and he called me up and said, I remember you guys are looking to make an acquisition. We're looking at divesting some of our mining assets. Are you guys interested? I said absolutely, and we just kind of went from there.
That's so cool.
So that's really how it came about.
Right, and I guess you CEOs in the mining business, I mean, you don't get to be home much. You're always on the road, and you're always kind of hunting, right? You know, between looking at
for sure. Yeah,
yeah. You know, I can see that. You know, when I look back over the course of years, it seems that it's so important. Like as you have that strong balance sheet and cash, that it seems that you get these downdrafts. There's always a few mines that either get over their heads, or people, in the Peru case, they're just a bigger company, right? And they just wanted to do something else. So that's pretty cool that there's so much basically dirt around. The question is that how much ore that you can get out, and is it producible at the price of what the metal is at this particular point, right?
Yeah, excuse me, that's exactly right. We certainly know from past work on the property and even from our own work, because we did have the project under option for a year and conducted about $2 million worth of drilling, mine development, and engineering studies. So we were quite comfortable with the mine. We know that there's a very significant resource there, which we will be updating by Q2. And beyond that, it really does come down to economics, as you say, just putting that all together and making sure that we can get it out at a price that's well below spot prices at that time. So yeah, and that's the same for any project, of course.
And
so
Bob, can you just hang tight for a second? We just got a 3-minute break. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome. You stay right there, folks. So Bob Arch and myself, we're going to be coming right back. Dow Industrials finished down 112. Yeah, the Nasdaq off 42. S&Ps were off 11. And we're going to be coming back with our man, Mr. Bob Archer, CEO of Great Panther Silver. We're going to be right back, folks. Welcome back, folks. We're talking with Bob Archer, the president and CEO of Great Panther Silver. The website, folks, is greatpanther.com, and it trades in Toronto as GPR, of course, in the U.S. as GPL. Now, for all brothers and sisters up in Canada, even if you're going to be up in Toronto, Bob's going to be up there Monday and Tuesday. It's the largest mining show in the world, I believe. That's going to be at the Toronto Convention Center. So, Bob, that is the largest mining show in the world, right? Is it?
Yeah, that's right, Tom. It is.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. So if we go back to the aspect of, I'd like to talk just about silver in general for a second, right? So,
yep.
The price of silver, we're running out here right now. You're at the $17.79. What price does silver have to stay at for basically not just your company, but the silver business? Gold, well, yeah, silver, gold, copper, because you have credits that come in, right? What is a price that's comfortable for the mining business?
Well, for the primary silver producers, what we saw a couple of years ago was that when it gets to around $14 an ounce, that is getting very close to the break-even for most of the primary silver producers.
Okay.
You can cut costs to a certain degree, but you still have to invest a certain amount in your operations in order to keep them going on a sustainable basis. So,
yes.
Even at that time, a lot of companies, including ourselves, were cutting back on drilling, and so we're increasing the drilling budgets again now that the prices are a little stronger. But I would say somewhere around the $14 level. Of course, about 3/4 of all the silver that's produced in the world is actually produced as a byproduct of other mines,
right.
other metals like lead and copper and gold and so on. And for those guys, because the silver is just a byproduct, they can produce it at a much lower cost. And that's one of the tricky things about silver. They can still survive as long as the other commodity prices are hanging in there, which they don't always do because things will move up and down together. But so it's very much a function of the prices of the other commodities as well.
Yeah, that's great to know, because it was interesting, last week when that largest copper mine closed. I mean, that's in silver. It just, wouldn't give it back, meaning that, the gold was getting hit and silver just kept going. And you can see that byproduct evidently, is going to make a difference in the future the longer that those larger copper mines have problems opening, I guess, right? It's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Now, when we talk about, can you just give folks? I know we have plenty of new listeners also, and if we can just talk about the aspect of your first mine, and so they can get an idea of like how old it is, how long it's been producing silver, and even the mine, you know, that the two mines that you get in Mexico. That it's pretty amazing to me that it seems that you can just keep drilling or side drilling, and like this. There's just more veins and more veins, right?
Yeah, it is pretty remarkable, actually. You know, our very first mine, is actually the smaller of the two, encompasses a district that was first discovered in the year 1538. So it's a very, very old district, one of the oldest in Mexico. And that particular mine has only been in production since 1952, largely because of access. But our larger mine in Guanajuato has been in production since the year 1600.
Wow.
And the discovery there was in the year 1550, but the mine itself has been in production for more than 400 years and produced over 1 billion ounces of silver. So it is remarkable that it just keeps on giving, and we just keep on making new discoveries. And, you know, we're mining it down at a depth of about 500 to 600 meters right now, and still drilling and still finding more. So it's really a remarkable district for sure.
That's pretty amazing. And, you know, inside the mining business, folks, which is always an important aspect, it's the aspect of most of the mining companies get paid in cash, and then the aspect is, okay, what are your expenses in? And I know when I was looking at Great Panther, I mean, you do a lot of business in Mexico, so that at this point, I mean, it's not great for the folks in Mexico. We have a lot of listeners there too, Bob. In fact, it's really great because a lot of the folks in Mexico live in the United States right now, and a couple of them are going back there buying houses when the peso, you know, got so weak. So I can believe it. Right? I mean, you know, I'm looking at the peso right now. So that is a big part of your business also. Well, not of your business, but that brings expenses down very quickly, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's been quite dramatic, especially since the election in November. You know, we've seen the peso weaken quite dramatically, and so now with the exchange rate hanging in around 21 to 1, that's been a big boost for pretty much all the mining companies working in Mexico, really, because, you know, the majority of your costs are in pesos, and yet we get paid in U.S. dollars.
Sure.
So that disparity, strength of the dollar, weakness of the peso, has helped significantly to drive our cash costs down.
And of course, Mexico is such a friendly mining country. I mean, that's their heritage, isn't it?
Yeah. It really is. You know, from that standpoint, I'm getting asked a lot these days if some of the rhetoric coming out of Washington is going to be negative for the mining industry. But you know, I don't really see that it's going to have much of an effect. Even if there was to be a renegotiation of NAFTA in some regards, I don't think it would have too much of an effect on the mining industry per se. But certainly, the exchange rate is what makes the biggest difference these days.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Well, listen, we always appreciate the update. And, you know, folks, if you happen to be in Toronto, Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be the Toronto Convention Center. You know, huge program up there, no doubt about it. You know, of course, you can, you know, just go over to greatpanther.com, find out more about Great Panther Silver. Well, listen, you know, you have I know, hey, so and Bob has just come from there's another large conference, folks, that's just getting over in the southern part of Florida. So how did it feel to get some sun?
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been a nice respite from the cold winter that we've been having up north. So no complaints, but we'll be heading back north tomorrow. So we're just bracing ourselves.
Yeah, totally, no doubt. Well, listen, you have a great one, and you have a safe one, and you know, some of the Tigers and Tigresses, Bob, every time that they get on a plane, like the broad market likes to go down, and so all the, you know, there's a lot of people saying today, I wish Tom would get on the plane. Well, I'll let them know right now, I'm getting on a plane, folks, because I'm going to go up to that conference Monday and Tuesday, so maybe we'll get a pullback in the S&Ps. I'm telling you.
There you go. Yeah.
Wild.
No, sounds good. Buy the dips.
Yeah. See you later. Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one, Bob. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.